Well, the time's come now. I've re-gilded the clock and it looks quite good. It's been polished and blacked and it's so much better than it was, at least that's my view. The only disadvantage is that when you are cleaning up an old clock like this, you really haven't, as an amateur, got a great deal of choice. The fact is that you've got to remove all the stains, and I've pretty well done that. I don't know if you recall what these were like, but they were pretty awful down there. But now they look quite good there and down here. If you could compare them with my earlier videos. But what you've got to do is to sacrifice that high shine that they come with when they come out of the factory, when they're first made. And you use rough abrasives. You try and get the best finish you possibly can, but you know, it's never going to be pristine. It's never going to be, as they would say in the the motor world, Concord condition. But to save it from the scrap heap, you know, this is what you get, and I'm very happy with that. I've got the clock over there. It's been running now for 5 days, and as such it seems to be working very well. I haven't been able to run it with the hands, but it's sitting on my Makepeace Heath Robinson clock testing system, which allows it to find its proper centre of gravity and run comfortably. So I'm going to replace that in the case now, and I'll come back to you as work progresses. I've just taken the pendulum off, and because the balance of the clock is working very satisfactorily, it will continue to go without the pendulum, and it just happily chugs away like that because it's just in balance, everything's working correctly, and it's as they would say, if it was an animated object, it is happy. And that's always a good sign if you have a clock and it's not working as you wish, and then you make some alterations and corrections, and it then works without a pendulum, then you're well on the way to recovery. Anyway, that's my view. Whether it's upheld by the rest of the fraternity, I'm not sure, but I like to see them like that. There we are. Well, that's the next stage done. I've replaced this plate here onto the front of the clock, and this plate is now to go on here. That's got a number which identifies with this number of 2838 and 2838 there and there. So it was all meant to be. So now I put that on there, and then I can put this back into this section here, screw it in to the sides there, then I'll put the hands on and replace it in the clock. So I'll come on back to you when I've done that. Right, I've got this back together again. I've put the pins in here all round and secured this face. I've replaced the chapter dial here so that it's in between the plate that I've just put in and the door. I've got the hands on. Incidentally, one of the points that one wants to watch out for is that when you screw up these screws here, which are attached to that little nib there, do it carefully, because it's very easy to cross thread on those, and then you'll screw into something and you really will have a problem. And when you tighten them up, it's better to work round evenly so that you tighten them a little by little as you get to the last few turns, so that it's secured evenly. It's quite easy to tighten up one and then the others won't be quite right. So there we are. The clock is now to go back into the case with the pendulum. The hands are on. Everything is getting to a point where completion is not very far away, and it's now a bit cleaner than it was when it first came out, and it's now looking quite presentable. So the next thing is I'll put this back into the case, and then we'll come back and see the completed job. Right, now I've set it up on my stand, which is, as you see here, the table, which has got the adjustable legs on down here and there, which makes it level. So I can now get the clock in the right position on the stand so that the pendulum will be pointing to the center of gravity of the Earth. I've got it in beat by synchronizing with my industrial stethoscope, which makes it very clear as to whether it's going to be in beat or not. So I can move the clock to tune it by twisting it on the front, and by twisting it here on the case very gently, 0.5 millimeter or a millimeter or so, I could get the beat right, and then I go back here and tighten up these. So then I know that that clock, when it's level, is on the right beat, and the pendulum is perpendicular to the center of the Earth. And if it's not functioning properly, it's because it's not level, and so you'd pick one end up or the other end, or else, in the case of a French clock, you can adjust it by twisting the clock, loosening these off, twisting the clock to get the beat right, and then tightening these up. But it only needs to be a fraction, perhaps a millimeter or two, that you turn it one way or the other until you get it right. There, and these are the strops that I've suggested in another video, so that you can then slide the rings down like so, and the other one like so, and you can pick a heavy clock up without a problem. So, and that means that instead of trying to pick it up by these points on the end here, which are liable to come apart, and the clock may then suddenly break into 2 pieces or 3 pieces. I will do one more photograph of the clock. I think maybe not, but if you recall, this was moving, it's now firm. I've got to polish that. I missed out a bit of polish on that. But it's, I think, pretty good. I'm very happy with it, and bearing in mind that it was, rarely spares or repairs, and now it's on test. I'll be running it for a week. I've set it on this to make sure that for the next day everything is correct, and then when I put it out somewhere else, I won't touch the face of the clock, I won't touch this. I will just let it run and level it up one way or the other, because I know that when it's level it will be true. So that's nearly finished. Maybe it is finished. We'll see.